Well, good afternoon. Well, good morning, everybody. It's afternoon for me, morning for you. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ. Coming to you, I'm looking a little grimy today because I'm a little beat up. Doing some work around the house today, so I'm a little dirty, a little grimy, a little tired. So that's okay. We need to do work around the house sometimes too. Had a request a while back about wanting to see my workstation at work. Oh boy, are you guys in for a treat. You're going to see the glamorous trappings of the Office of Network Admin. And I hope you understand sarcasm because that's what that was. So I work for a small county hospital. So we're not going to see a huge office with glass walls and a view. We're going to see a cubicle. So anyway, I took a video of it the other night. We had a planned power outage. I was there almost all night. So while that was going on, I took some video. I didn't narrate the video at that time because there were lots of people around the swing and the evening shift guys. And every time I started recording and talking on the recording, they kept turning around and answering me and thought I was talking to them, even after I'd explained I was making a video. So I just decided I would start all over and silently make the video, and I will narrate it for you here. So let me share my screen. There we go. Let's share. We're going to share the screen. Click share. There we go. So let's start this all over from the beginning. So here it is. Here is my office, my cubicle. This door over here, here this mouse is not behaving very well, so let me do this. This door over here used to be my office, and I shared it with somebody. That's now become the CIO's office, so I was kicked out to this cubicle right here, and that's my cart. I have a little push cart that I use to move switches around. And I also set it outside my cubicle to do configuration when my desks become too full or messy, as they are right now. So let's start this tour here. So that's my whiteboard. I put announcements on there, you know, what hours I work or anything I want the local folks to know. Some spirit stickers from the Experimental Aircraft Association, and 6.1 years until I retire. Oh, there we go. 6.1 years till I retire. I have a sliding door to my cubicle. Yes, it is that luxurious. Inside my cubicle is another whiteboard where I write down things to remind myself. This may not work very well. Here's my collection of memes. So I keep all my cleverest of memes on hand there so I can clip them outside of my door. And one of my favorite, the moment you prove it's not the network, which is quite often for me. I am a 49ers fan. I went to the playoffs. I enjoyed it. Here's my collection of trinkets and junk. There's a magazine article that was written about me and an airplane I built. So National Magazine was pretty cool. And here is my, that's my workstation. I don't know what the dimensions are. It's a very large screen. It's curved, and it's a HP. I'm sorry, I don't know the model number. My server buddy ordered two. He got one for him and one for me. And I'm sorry, I just don't remember what the model number is. I just know it boots up super fast. For power off, from the time you power that thing on, it takes maybe 8 seconds before you've got a login prompt. So if that. So anyway, it's super fast, really nice machine. And here I'm attempting to show you that it's got a i7 in it. So yeah, it's a nice machine. So there's a USB extension hub and a thermometer. I have to take my temperature every day when I report to work. That is a box of Kleenex. Some miscellaneous cables there and some switches that I am working on. The purple one is my test switch. I use that to do testing on the network, things that I want to test in an environment before I deploy it out to the rest of the switches. I'll test on that little guy. And there's a couple other older model switches there that I am working on for a project down at the jail. So yeah, that's what's going on with those. I have a label maker, a bunch of spare G-Bix, some energy drink material. There's my tool bag with all the tools. I did a video on that before. That's where I hang it. It's a rack full of papers I never look at. And so now I'm going to show you, that's Intermapper. That's how I monitor the network. As I said, there's a power outage, so that's why you see some of those devices are red, some are green. The devices that are red do not have backup power. The devices that are green obviously do have backup power. So probably about a third of our campus does not have backup power. That's surprising for a hospital, but there's just a lot of buildings on campus that do not need backup power. They're not life critical. They're not critical for the patients, so they do not have backup power. So now I am starting up another tool that I use quite a bit. It's a software tool called NetSite. That's what Extreme uses to manage their switches. All those switches you see in the back, I use Intermapper to monitor them and to graph them out, but I use NetSite to manage them. So here I am slowly logging in with one hand, typing my semi-complex password one-handed. And here comes NetSite with blinding speed. You can see on Intermapper there a better view of all the switches that are down right now. So this is NetSite. All the switches are there in that pane on the left. You can put them in different groups as I've done. I've got them grouped for different areas of the hospital, different buildings on the campus. And then there's one group up at the top that's got all devices in it. Let's see, wait for me to scroll back up here. So it'll show you several bits of information, quite a bit of information actually. So you can get the serial numbers, the locations, the device type, the firmware that's on it, the boot ROM, IP address, and several other bits of information. It's hard to read, but those tabs up there at the top, there's one there, second from the left, that says Compass. And I didn't demonstrate it here. First tab says Properties. You can't read it. That's what we're looking at, is the device properties. The second says Compass. So if I click on that, a search bar will come up. And I can type in either a MAC address or an IP address and click search. And it'll search that whole list of switches on the left there for that MAC address or IP address. And it'll tell me what switch and what port it's on. Super, super handy. There's another tab there next to it called VLAN. If I highlight a switch, click that VLAN tab, and then there's a little go button off to the side that you can't see right now. Click go, it'll pull every port on that switch and what VLAN is assigned to that port. So that's really cool. So you can look at the VLAN, you can assign a VLAN, change them. It's a really cool tool. So let's move along here and see what I was trying to show you on this thing. Yeah, there's the whole list. I know it's really hard to see, but trust me, there's a lot of really useful information there. If you right click, there's a lot of other tools you can get to, device manager, MIB tools. You can walk through the SNMP. You can go to the web view console, which will bring up the web page of the switch. I have that disabled. All I really use there really is SSH. I SSH to the switches using this. It's largely what I use it for. I don't look at alarms through this or the syslog receiver or any of that. I don't use ping because if they're answering a ping, there'll be a little green dot right next to the little switch symbol there. So there's no need to do a ping on the switch because it's there. The other one I use quite a bit is lower down right near the bottom, just below where it says Start Compass Search. You'll see it says Execute Command Script. That's really handy because I can highlight a whole group of switches, many switches at once. Right, hit that right click, hit Execute Command Script, and type in a set of commands like show VLAN or save config or whatever I want to do. And it'll execute those commands on every switch that's there. I use it a lot to like create VLANs on a bunch of different switches. So that's really cool feature. So moving along here, showing you what that all does right there. All right, I think I am done showing you this. I'm going to minimize that. There's Intermapper again. Here's another cool little utility, although it's not really showing us much right now. It's called Ping Plotter. And you can put in an IP address, and it's kind of like a graphical version of ping and traceroute. So it'll give you the IP address, it'll give you your start hop and your end hop, and it'll show you all the hops from where you are, every router between you and the device you're pinging. And on the right over there, it'll show you the response time in a graphical form. And then down at the very bottom, you'll see like a waveform, a graph of the ping response times over time. Right now, we have a power outage, so the thing I was pinging is down, so it's just showing us packet losses will show up as red on the chart, and that's what we're seeing right now. So there'll be this big, huge red glob at the bottom that's not telling us much. Normally, you would see a trace graph there of what's going on. My other favorite go-to tool is PuTTY. I mean, I do have HP, I think, made it Teraterm. I have PuTTY, and it's pretty much my only two terminal emulations that I use. I don't really SSH. I don't really use like Windows PowerShell. You can SSH from there. I don't really use that because I like doing it this way. I'm kind of a graphical hoe, I guess. I like graphical interfaces for some things, and some things I really do like this command line interface. So that's PuTTY. That's another one of my go-to devices. I use two browsers. I use the new Microsoft Edge, which is based on Chromium, which really works really good. And then I use Chrome. So that's my two favorites. I use those all day long. Spotify, another very important tool for network administrators. Just ignore the frozen soundtracks there. I don't know how those got there. So yeah, and yeah, Brody, I can't read the last name there. Welcome aboard, man. So anyway, that's my workstation. I know you guys wanted to see it, so that's pretty much it. There's some of the other stuff I have running. There's one of them I should have highlighted there. I'll highlight that one especially next time. So that is pretty much it. That is my my workstation. So not that glamorous. Like I said, no big walled office with a view, majestic sweeping views. It's a very small cubicle. When I'm working in there, I just slide that door shut and put my headphones on, crank up Spotify, tune the world out, and do my thing. And honestly, I don't spend a lot of time in there. I grab my laptop, which I'm on right now, throw it in my backpack, and I spend a lot of time out in the network closets. It's quieter. I get to get up and move around, and I don't have people coming in and bothering me all day long. Because if I sit there all day, I'll have people coming in making requests of me all day long. When it's A lot of times it's something they should be figuring out themselves, but it's just easier to go ask the network admin. So when I'm not there, they're not as prone to just stop thinking and ask me. They'll think about it first, and if they really can't solve it, they'll open a ticket in our help desk system, which is what I need to justify my existence. And they'll open a ticket and send it to me. So that's why I don't mind that it's a small little cubicle, because honestly, I do not spend much time there. The only time I wish I had more space is when I'm setting things up, configuring things, testing things. But as I said, I just set them all on a cart outside my door. And if it bothers people, they haven't said anything about it. They don't complain. Even when there's 3 switches stacked up on the cart and the fans are just roaring. Well, they can get me a quieter place if it really starts to annoy them. So anyway, that's it. That's this week's video. I hope you found it informative, or at least entertaining. Thanks for watching. You know, all these other YouTubers say it, so I'll say it. You know, go ahead and if you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and click on the little bell to be notified when I put up a new video. It's roughly once a week, sometimes a little longer because I get busy. But I try for once a week. So, yeah. All right, that's all I got. You guys have a great week, and God bless. We'll see you next time.